Hello and welcome to Embrace Behavior Change, the place where overwhelmed parents can find relief and learn to parent with a greater sense of ease. You know, I have been married for almost 23 years, and I have to confess, when I first got married, I used to tattletale on my husband to my mom. I would say things like, "Mom, he didn't buy me the gift that I wanted. I didn't want this present for my birthday." And she would say to me, "Well, did you ask him or tell him what you wanted?" And I say, "No." And of course she'd say, "Well, he's not a mind reader." Then I would go back months later and say something else, and then her question was still the same. "Did you ask him what you wanted?" And my reply was no. So eventually I just stopped asking my mom because I knew what she was going to say. But moreover, I started taking her advice. And what I realized is some of the little things that I was carrying on in my chest and in my head were just useless because all I had to do was ask him and he would say, "Okay, no problem." But I know there are those moments where you've been churning something over and you know if I make a request, I might say it in the wrong way or he might respond in a way that I don't want. And so we tend to hold on to those issues a little bit longer. Today, I want to try to help you to make requests from your child's other parent without disturbing the peace. Those of you who are tuning in for the first time, my name is Sharoya Ham. I'm a behavior change specialist and a parent coach. I had a mom recently write into me. I want to share what she wrote. She says she's a frustrated mom for one. She said that one day she got up, she was feeling good, went through her morning routine, and then discovered her daughter had a fever. Well, this meant that she needed to stay home, cancel her work appointments, and reschedule her day. And she says to me, "Why is it that moms always have to sacrifice?" I want to say that we don't always have to sacrifice. Many times we fail to express what we want or what we need in a way that the co-parent can respond and be helpful. So today I want to take you through a few steps that will help you, not just at your home, but behavior modification works with adults at your job. So here are the steps. Number one, it's kind of obvious. What does this mom want? Well, she wants some help. She wants some support. Now I want you all to get past the just wanting something and think about what is it that you value? What is it that you value in a relationship? The ideal couple, what do they have that you would value? So in this case, I would think that this mom values support and collaboration, partnership. So that's the word that I want this mom to use when talking to her husband is partnership, because that's the very thing that she desires. Remember, you just wanting help for this situation will just be for this situation. But if you can paint a bigger picture and help the other parent to recognize what you're really asking for is a partnership. So after you identify what it is you value, then I want you to think about how to solve the problem, like not just asking for help, but be very specific. Make up a plan. In this case, I would just avoid trying to say, when there's an emergency or the child is sick or there's a field trip, you do it this time, the next time I'll do it. What I would suggest in this case is assign months. So you can say January would be your month, February would be your spouse's month, and then you go through the year. You just simply say, if an emergency happens this month or there's a school field trip, we're both working parents, then we can alternate. And maybe write a little clause and say, if two emergencies or there's a field trip event back to back, then the other parent can jump in for the third event. You want to just leave it open so that when you have the discussion, there can be some collaboration and an end result. So again, let me just reiterate. Number one, you know what you want. You want some help. But what do you value? What is it really that you're trying to get after? And that's a partnership. Then number 3, you're going to write down a plan. And then number 4, you're going to go make your request. So let's talk about how to make this request. You can say something like, I happen to know this mom, and I know that she's a mompreneur. She stays at home, but yet she's working. So I want to say, this mom could say something like, well, as you know, I've been working and building my business. Things are going really well. But as I reflect over the year, I noticed that I missed some appointments, had to change some things around whenever our kids were sick or needed me to go on a special event for them for school. Then she can proceed by saying, I value our partnership. And what I'd like to know is if we can partnership in this responsibility in particular. Can we share this responsibility in 2020? So here's what I've been thinking. Would you consider that we just assign a month for each of us, and then we would be responsible for picking up the kids if there's an emergency or staying at home? And you can ask them, what do they think? Listen to their response. Maybe it might be a yes, but they want to change some of the conditions. I hope that you would welcome those suggestions and just say, okay, it is an improvement. You might not get what you want totally, but the fact that they said yes with the condition means they want to partnership with you. Maybe it doesn't look the same way as you had first thought, okay? Then what if they say no? You can just follow up by saying, listen, what I value most, again, is our partnership. And I hope that you feel like you can depend on me. And I want to feel like I can always depend on you. And in this case, I'm really struggling because I want to respect my job. I want to respect the work that I do. I want to respect my clients. And so I'm hoping that you would reconsider and leave it at that. Why? Because it is progress. Before you might have held it inside, but now you're giving the request. Once you put it out there, believe me, the other parent will give it some thought. But here's what I want you to do. Meanwhile, I want you to begin to look for times where that other parent is supporting what you do, and just acknowledge that. They might take the kids to all the soccer games or sports events, whatever the case may be. And you can simply say, you know what? I appreciate you doing that. I feel like we're in this together when you do that. By beginning to pay attention to what they are doing and how they are being supportive of the entire family, you can begin to soften up that environment so that when you make the next request, they're more likely to say yes. So I hope that is helpful. And I just want to remind all of you, you can create the home environment you want by making one behavior change at a time. Remember, if you have a question or need some support, feel free to reach out to me in the comment section or send me a private message. I just want to challenge you before I stop this video that if you have a situation, a kid is having a struggle, or perhaps you're not agreeing on something in your house and you know you can parent your kids better, I want you to set aside some time to really think about it, reflect. What do I want? What am I really valuing about the situation? And then making out a plan and then making a request. We're about to go into 2020, and I think it's important for us as parents to get on the same page as much as we can. But as I always say, just choose one issue. Just say, why can't we just agree on this one thing and then move forward? I am going to write out these steps along with some scenarios on Wednesday to put there for you. One of the scenarios that I have is that in discipline, determining if there's an issue, say a child doesn't take out the garbage. So this is the scenario I'm going to talk about on Wednesday, or I'm writing an article for Wednesday, and encourage you to open it up and read it. But what it's going to do is give you a scenario about a child who doesn't take out the garbage. and how the parents come together to co-parent this child and to agree on what the consequence will be for not taking out the garbage. I wish you all the best in 2020. Let's come together and parent on the same page.